Today I want to talk about dreams. And that's why I brought this prop with me, this hat. And for most of you, for probably all of you, this is just an Amsterdam hat. But for me, this represents progress and that dreams are in fact possible to achieve. And we don't even know what can happen when we start taking uncomfortable action and moving forward in life, trying to move forward in life. You see, I started with the 3 S's. I was shy, I was smart, and I was small, which made me the perfect target for people to pick on me, and I remember them calling me names, throwing my backpack around, and even picking me up and carrying me across the school. I felt humiliated and like there's nothing I could do. And I looked up to them with like, oh wow, they have this confidence, like I wish I was born with that kind of confidence. And one day this drove me into a really deep emotional low when I remember just lying on my bed, crying, and I picked up my phone and I googled how to be happy. And you know, I started reading it and I started learning, and after a while I ran into be confident as one of the ingredients for being happy, one of the steps. I was like, okay, I'm not confident. So as I was in this Google search kind of research mode, of course I googled how to be confident, right? That was the next logical step. And I started doing it and I got insights that maybe I can start running in the morning, and that's going to help me feel stronger, that's going to help me feel better about myself, and it's going to help me build confidence. And it did. So I started waking up at 5 AM in the morning, going for a run and then taking a cold shower before school. And overall I kept it going, and when I was 15, for the first time I went to a bus when I was on my way to school, and I decided that I'm going to challenge my social anxiety. So I'm going to start introducing myself to girls on the bus. And yeah, it was painful. The first week after that decision was very painful. You know, I remember just sitting there, stuck in the fear, like my thoughts going crazy, like, oh, she's going to reject you, you're going to make yourself look like a fool, everyone is going to see it, and everybody's going to laugh. And that made me feel even worse about myself. So I decided that I need to change my strategy. And I decided to use my body first, instead of fighting that fear with my mind. I decided to fight it with my body first. So the next day I went to the bus, I see a cute girl, and I'm like, okay, this is the chance, right? So first of all, I sat more straight, I put my shoulders back, I took a deep breath, I took another deep breath, I smiled, and mentally, that's why when I started using my mind, right? After my body first, put myself into a courageous state, and then I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I stood up and I went to talk to the girl, and it worked. Like, we had a nice chat. I never saw her again. However, I was so happy that I overcame this fear, right? So the next day I wanted to do it again, and again I was so scared. I was so scared again, still stuck in the fear, right? Okay, so first my body, this, and actually I'm gonna tell you how it played out. So I went to the bus, right, and there's a girl sitting over here, and there's an empty seat here. So I woke up to her and I'm like, sorry, can I sit here? She was like, yeah, yeah, and I sat next to her, and that was it. And for the next 5 minutes I was like, bum 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 bum, sitting next to her, just looking like around and like, oh fuck, I want to say hello, like, am I gonna do it? So after like 5 minutes of a little bit of a panic, I took a deep breath, put my shoulders back, I smiled, and I turned to her and I reached out with my hand and I said, hello, my name's Onda. And she looked at me, looked me up and down, and she just went, no. And I was like, okay. Well, now, okay, I'm so sorry to bother you, and I went away, right? Sat into a different seat, and I started laughing like crazy. I was like, what's going on? Like, I was so happy that I did it and overcame that fear of the rejection, and this thing that I was so scared of, it happened, and I was happy about it. that blew my mind, right? Like, how does that work? Changed my perspective. And I found out that the fear itself is worse than the rejection itself. The fear of the rejection is worse than the rejection itself. And that's where I really started to go into facing rejections, right? And going after it, like feeling the fear and doing it anyway. So back to the hat. Recently, I saw some videos on YouTube of people doing the paperclip challenge, right? They trade themselves up to something. They start with a paperclip or start with a penny, and they trade it with strangers, and they got themselves to a Tesla, to a Porsche, to a house, crazy things. And I was like, wow, like that's something that I have to test out for myself. Because the first time I saw it, I was like, oh wow, that's so great that it worked for them, so like lucky, and that he ran into the people, and like, wow, good for him. But I don't think I could do that, like it wouldn't work for me. That was my initial reaction, but I was like, wait, let me challenge that. Let me challenge that. So I decided to do it for myself, and it was scary. Saying the first, hello, do you have something to trade? I want to trade something for a pen. That's crazy. And I actually started with absolutely nothing, right? I went into a restaurant and I asked them if they can give me a pen. Guess what? They actually gave me a pen. And I went, I wonder, what can I do with this pen that I got for absolutely free just for asking? So I went into a park and started trading. After 2 days of trading for maybe 2 hours, I went from a pen that I picked up for free into this amazing Amsterdam hat, right? So when I was said in the beginning that this hat represents dreams for me, and it represents that small kid, that 13-year-old version of me who's sitting there lying, crying, and Googling how to be happy and how to be confident, into who I became today. And having these like amazing experiences of traveling around the world and being able to test this for myself. So the dream continues. The dream continues because I wasn't planning to end up with a hat. I'm actually planning to end up in a van, with a van that I can convert into a tiny house and live in it and travel the world with it. Okay? How crazy of a story would that be? So if you want to follow that story of how this evolves and how I turn this nothing to this hat and this hat into a van, you can follow me on Instagram at @therobohumanist and follow this journey, follow my story. And I promise that if you stick around, I will take you to your dreams with me, because I'm here to lead by example. I want to lead by example, and that's why I'm sharing all of this. That's why I'm sharing also vulnerably the reality of this life. Like yesterday when I went trading, it was a dream life day, but in the background I spent a lot of time sitting here struggling, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to go outside, second guessing myself, doubting myself, wasted a lot of time on TikTok, right? Even smoked some weed. So most people are not gonna share this. Most people are gonna share only the highlights. I like to share the reality. I like to share the reality. And I believe that this is what we should do. Be open and vulnerable about our wins and about our losses, about our strengths, about our weaknesses, about how it actually feels to go through this journey. It's time that we stop posting only highlights. It's time that we start being real, so we can connect to each other in a deeper, meaningful way, so we can help each other move forward and really, really build a wonderful future for our kids and for the next generations, but also for ourselves. in this day and age, I do want to go to the moon. I do want to build a geothermal or solar power plant so I can contribute to the to sustainable energy. I do want to go jump out of planes and fly a wingsuit. I want to see the world. I want to have the amazing adventures. I want to fly private jets. I want to have helicopter experiences, right? And I believe that we can combine these two together into really contributing to making the world a better place and connecting to each other, evolving the human race by connection and love, and still live such a wonderful life that is actually worth being present for every minute. Because every life is worth living for, being present for every minute, right? Okay, I would go into the power of now, but that's the story for now. This is how I got so far. I'm 22 now. I'm living in this amazing apartment in Amsterdam. I'm actually going to Thailand in a month and a half to explore Southeast Asia, to travel full time there for 4 months. So yeah, like the 13-year-old kid, he is so proud and so happy, and he cannot believe it, right? He's looking at me right now and it's like, who are you? Come follow me, and we're going to build an amazing future together. Because alone you are strong, alone we are strong, alone I am strong, but only together we're unstoppable. So let's go and let's make the world a better place.